American politics is full of moments that left people in shock and disbelief. From leaders caught in outrageous lies to audacious cover-ups, these scandals changed the nation's trust in its government. Stay tuned as we count down 10 of the most jaw-dropping political scandals in U.S. history. You won't believe what makes the top of this list. Number 10. The election and tenure of George Santos. Kicking off our list is George Santos, the drama king of the 118th Congress. Serving just over 11 months, Santos made headlines for scandal after scandal. He lied about his college credentials, misused campaign funds for personal expenses like Botox and Sephora, and even claimed his mother died in 9/11, which wasn't true. But that's not where the list ends. Santos also tricked a homeless veteran by promising to raise money for his sick dog, but then took the funds for himself. As if that wasn't enough, Santos faced multiple accusations involving fraud and deceit, making him one of the most controversial figures in recent political memory. Despite this laundry list of issues, he still had the audacity to file paperwork to run for office again while awaiting trial for wire fraud and other crimes. His tenure was brief but packed with more drama than most politicians see in a lifetime. Number 9. The Teapot Dome Scandal. Let's rewind to the 1920s, a time when political corruption was just starting to catch the public's eye. The Teapot Dome Scandal rocked the Harding administration when it came to light that high-ranking official, including Secretary of the Interior Albert Fall, had taken bribes from oil companies. These bribes were in exchange for leasing Navy petroleum reserves, including the Teapot Dome oil field in Wyoming, without competitive bidding. The public's outrage was immense, and the scandal set the standard for corruption cases to follow. Albert Fall was eventually convicted and became the first U.S. cabinet member to go to prison. This event highlighted the potential for abuse of power at the highest levels of government and served as a lesson in transparency, or rather the lack of it. Fast forward to today, and the echoes of Teapot Dome still resonate when discussing political ties to big oil companies. Number 8. The Watergate Scandal. Watergate is one of the most famous political scandals in American history, so complex that entire books and movies have been made about it. It started with a seemingly small plan by John Ehrlichman to secure Richard Nixon's re-election. This plan involved illegal activities, including wiretapping phones at the Democratic National Committee (DNC) headquarters and staging a break-in at the Watergate Hotel to cover up evidence. What followed was a tangled web of cover-ups, trials, and missing audio tapes that kept the American public captivated. The situation spiraled out of control, leading to the resignation of top officials and ultimately President Nixon himself. The phrase Watergate has since become synonymous with political scandal, symbolizing betrayal and the lengths some leaders will go to hold on to power. It left a lasting impact, making Americans more skeptical of their leaders and sparking reforms in campaign and election laws. Number 7. The George Bush Shoeing Incident. In 2008, President George W. Bush faced an unexpected form of protest during a press conference in Iraq. Journalist Muntadar al-Zaidi threw his shoes at the president, a major sign of disrespect in Middle Eastern culture. Bush managed to dodge both shoes with surprising agility, and the event was caught on camera, making it an instant global sensation. Though no one was hurt and there were no legal repercussions for Bush himself, the incident symbolized the deep resentment and frustration many felt about the U.S. invasion of Iraq. The shoe-throwing episode became a viral moment, spawning countless memes and discussions worldwide. It highlighted the power of symbolic protest and served as a reminder of the polarizing nature of U.S. foreign policy at the time. Number 6. The Monica Lewinsky Scandal. The Monica Lewinsky scandal was one of the most talked-about events of the 1990s. President Bill Clinton faced intense scrutiny when it was revealed he had an inappropriate relationship with Monica Lewinsky, a young White House intern. Initially, Clinton denied the allegations in front of the entire nation, famously stating, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman." However, mounting evidence, including recorded conversations and a blue dress, proved otherwise. The scandal led to Clinton's impeachment by the House of Representatives on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice. Although he was later acquitted by the Senate, the affair tarnished his legacy and became a cultural reference point for scandals involving lies and cover-ups. Beyond the political sphere, it sparked widespread discussions about power dynamics, ethics, and the role of the media in personal matters. Number 5. The Iran-Contra Affair. In the 1980s, President Ronald Reagan's administration was embroiled in a complex scandal known as the Iran-Contra Affair. The government secretly sold arms to Iran, a country under an arms embargo, in order to fund Contra rebels in Nicaragua. These moves violated U.S. law and raised ethical concerns. The affair came to light through media reports and televised congressional hearings that gripped the nation. Despite several officials being convicted, most of their sentences were later overturned or pardoned. Surprisingly, Reagan's popularity didn't take a huge hit, showcasing how political charisma can sometimes weather serious scandals. Number 4. The Pentagon Papers leak. The Vietnam War era saw another major scandal: the release of the Pentagon Papers. These were classified documents that revealed the U.S. government had been misleading the public and Congress about the progress and scope of the war. Daniel Ellsberg, a military analyst, leaked the papers to the New York Times in 1971. The publication of these documents sparked a national debate about government transparency and accountability. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of the New York Times, reinforcing the importance of a free press. This scandal deepened public distrust in government and fueled anti-war sentiment across the nation. Number 3. The Chappaquiddick Incident. In 1969, Senator Ted Kennedy was involved in a car accident that left 28-year-old Mary Jo Kopech dead. After driving off a bridge on Chappaquiddick Island, Kennedy escaped the submerged car, but failed to report the incident until the following day. The delayed response and inconsistencies in his statements raised serious questions about his actions and motives. Kennedy pleaded guilty to leaving the scene of an accident and received a suspended sentence. However, the scandal's impact went far beyond legal repercussions. It overshadowed his political career and ended his presidential aspirations, with many viewing the incident as an example of privilege and negligence. The Chappaquiddick incident remains a symbol of the public's distrust in political elites. Despite his later efforts to rebuild his reputation through legislative work, Kennedy's legacy was forever intertwined with this tragedy. It also sparked broader conversations about accountability, morality, and the influence of wealth and status in politics. Number 2. The Spiro Agnew resignation. In 1973, Vice President Spiro Agnew shocked the nation by resigning amid accusations of bribery, extortion, and tax fraud. These charges dated back to his time as governor of Maryland and persisted during his vice presidency. Agnew's downfall was swift, as mounting evidence forced him to strike a deal: resign from office in exchange for avoiding jail time. Agnew's resignation marked a turning point in American political history. It was the first time a sitting vice president stepped down under such circumstances, highlighting the extent to which corruption could infiltrate the highest levels of government. His departure also had significant political consequences. With President Nixon embroiled in the Watergate scandal, Agnew's resignation cleared the way for Gerald Ford to become vice president and eventually the 38th president of the United States. The incident reinforced the importance of checks and balances in government and underscored the need for ethical leadership at all levels. Number 1. The January 6 Capitol attack. The January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol was a watershed moment in American history. Sparked by false claims of a stolen election, supporters of then-President Donald Trump stormed the Capitol to disrupt the certification of Joe Biden's victory. What began as a rally turned into a violent insurrection, with rioters breaching security, vandalizing property, and attacking law enforcement. The attack left a deep scar on American democracy. 5 people died and hundreds were injured in the chaos. Lawmakers were forced to take shelter, and the halls of Congress, a symbol of democratic governance, became a battleground. The aftermath of January 6 was equally consequential. Trump became the first U.S. president to be impeached twice, with the second impeachment charging him with incitement of insurrection. Investigations into the attack are ongoing, with over 1,000 people charged and several convicted for their roles in the violence. This scandal exposed the fragility of democratic institutions and highlighted deep divisions in American society. It also raised urgent questions about the role of misinformation, the limits of free speech, and the accountability of public officials. And that wraps up our top 10 list of American political scandals. Which one shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss our next deep dive into history's most intriguing stories. Watch our next video for more political surprises and insights. Thanks for watching.